today's show, I'm talking about having mixed feelings about traveling. This show today is specifically about what to do when your spouse, your partner, or your loved one or a friend is on the fence about traveling or has mixed feelings about traveling, but you want to travel. What do you do? I have 5 tips for you for how to get your friend, family, spouse, loved one to want to travel with you. And I'm here today to talk to you about things you can do to help them want to travel more. Here are my 5 tips for helping others to enjoy traveling as much as you do. Now, these tips were inspired by myself because I have actually lived through them personally. I was the one who didn't want to travel. My husband has always been the one who 100% wants to travel, and he would even drop everything just to travel. And it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I love travel as much as I do. I was shown the example of the traveling life just by doing short bouts of travel with my husband and with my children through various trips, much like the typical once or twice a year family vacation that many people do. And that's where it started for me. If you have a spouse or a partner or a friend who isn't as interested in traveling as much as you are, or who doesn't have the same desires for the type of travel that you would like to do, then here are my 5 tips for helping to get them to want to travel. Tip number 1 is compromise. I do believe that there does need to be some compromise, and it doesn't matter if you're in just a friendship with someone or a relationship or whatever the type of relationship is that you're in with a person. Compromising is an important aspect. If my husband had forced me to travel or tried to push me to travel in a way that was uncomfortable for me, in a way that wouldn't have been fun, or that I would have had to have done something that wasn't as comfortable for me, then it might have pushed me away, and it might have actually made me not enjoy traveling. And that would have had a negative impact on my perception or outlook of travel. But we did compromise, and we traveled in a way that I was comfortable, and my husband made sure that we did activities and that we had things planned so that I was comfortable on our trips. I was able to actually enjoy it a lot more and have the desire and the want to continue to travel more and more and more. Tip number 2 is patience. Be patient. It does not happen overnight, and most likely will not happen overnight. It takes time for a person to change their point of view or their perception about something in life. So as badly as you might want to drop everything and go and travel around or travel the world or whatever your goals are, your friend or your spouse or loved one just isn't ready. So being patient is really important too. And just like it's important to be patient after you've planted a seed or seeds in a garden, to wait for them to grow and blossom into delicious, yummy vegetables to eat, it's just as important to also let the seed that you plant about traveling to grow and develop in your loved one so that they will have the desire to want to travel. So it will take time for someone's seed to grow and develop and for them to gradually desire more travel. Being patient is also being respectful of the other person because it allows them to be at the point in which they're at in the process of being interested in traveling. So it's just respecting them and letting them be in the point where they're at so that they can continue to evolve and have the opportunity to be more interested in traveling. Tip number 3 is the power of positivity. Staying positive about your travels and about your vacations and everything is very, very important. Going on trips and traveling are some of the greatest times and moments and experiences in most people's lives. A lot of them are our very most favorite memories alongside our family and our friends. And it really doesn't even matter where you are. You could be out in the middle of nowhere But as long as you're with your friends or your loved ones, it doesn't matter. You're with your family, and those experiences are so positive and they make such an impact on people that the positivity that comes from traveling and from vacations and from getting time with people that you love is very, very important. And it's a way that people who are not sure about traveling or who are on the fence about traveling can really have a big impact made just from experiencing it and from having positive experiences. Just you being positive can make a huge difference. Positivity shines very brightly, and others are attracted to that type of light. So shine bright with positivity and be excited for all of the awesome, fun memories and adventures that happen when you're on a vacation or a trip. And others will naturally be excited along with you and will feel the positivity and will desire to have more of that. Tip number 4 is to show the value of travel. Be the person who gets excited about traveling. Be the person who plans really, really, really fun excursions. You can plan many excursions for free or very inexpensively. Just because I'm using the word excursion, it doesn't always mean something that's really expensive. Going to somewhere like a free museum or park or monument, there are so many free excursions that you could do. So be the person who plans the fun stuff that happens and the stuff that really makes traveling valuable. Setting a good example for what makes a trip and what makes a trip valuable is important, and it will help other people enjoy the trip and the vacation that much more. It will teach them to see the value in what they're doing with you, and they're gonna want to have that experience again. So make sure that there's value and show the value of travel, what great things it brings to a person in their life. Tip number 5, build memories and associate good feelings. This goes kind of hand in hand with being positive because, the good feelings and building memories, that's like all positive stuff. But creating fun, amazing memories is very, very important. And associating good feelings with trips that you take will help those who are maybe on the fence or not quite sure to more fully enjoy the trip. And they'll want to continue to have more time like that with you. Make sure that you're building memories and doing your best to associate good feelings along with your trips and your vacations. Those good feelings really stick with people, and the good feelings will make people want to have those same feelings over and over again. I sure hope that my 5 tips have helped you today. And whether you're the person who loves to travel and wants to get out, but your loved one or friend doesn't, or whether you're the one who may not want to travel, but your spouse or your loved one is trying to convince you to go, I sure hope that these tips help in some way. And I would love if you could please let me know in the comments section down below if you're in this situation and what type of things might help you, or if you have any other suggestions or examples of ways to help others be excited and want to travel. Traveling is awesome, and I just hope that this helps someone to be able to get out and have the experience for themselves. So once again, thank you, and I hope these 5 tips have helped you out. To recap the tips, they are: tip number 1 is compromise. Tip number 2 is patience. Tip number 3 is the power of positivity. Tip number 4 is to show the value of travel. And lastly, tip number 5 is to build memories and associate good feelings. Thank you, and see you next time.